Hello everyone, my name is Alden and welcome back to the Blank Script with me. What? Hold on. Hello everyone, welcome back to the Blank Script with me, Alden. Ignore that first intro, I didn't do it right. So, how are you today? Doing good? Great. We're talking about theories and not games. So, let's go into it. Yay! This video is going to be a conglomerate of all of the other theories and things that I noticed in Season 1 of Miraculous Ladybug that are not enough to make their own video about. So, let's jump into things, starting with theory number 3. Tiki is manipulating Marinette. Okay, so again, I don't have a lot on this, so it's going to be short, but just hear me out for a second, okay? First, Tiki's odd personality. Besides the obvious manipulative tactic of telling someone that they're special, i.e. telling Marinette that she is the chosen one, there were some other points that made me second-guess Tiki's motives. The example I'm going to bring up for this argument is Tiki's opinion of Chloe. In episode Antibug, she talks about how Marinette needs to listen to Chloe because she's a person, and you shouldn't let personal feelings dictate how you treat another human being. Then, during Guitar Villain, she starts going off about how disgusting Chloe is for talking about herself in the third person, which is entirely understandable, as you should never talk about yourself in the third person. It is, in fact, very gross. But this does seem to be pandering to an extent. At least, that's the vibe I got. Another thing that really didn't sit right with me was Tiki trying and succeeding to get Marinette to try for class president when she already said she had a lot on her plate already. Being Ladybug, working on her fashion designs, helping her parents in the bakery. What in the world is Tiki thinking? Like, maybe if I'm correct in my previous theory that Tiki has some of Plag's power that could be influencing her to try and destroy Marinette's life, but we can't exactly rely on that. And Tiki would absolutely know that Marinette's already got her hands full. She lives with Marinette. For crying out loud. She knows how much of a disaster and a train wreck she is. But, speaking of Plag, if we compare Tiki to Plag, then we can see that they both have some oddities in their personality. For example, Plag likes stinky things, especially Camembert. So why, in episode Horrificator, after spelling Adrian's shoe, he reels back in disgust, which, you would expect from a normal person, but then he says, "And you say I stink of Camembert." I thought he loved Camembert, including the smell, especially the smell. Why is he repulsed by it? I mean, I guess it could just be that he didn't expect the smell and he thought it would be even worse because, let's be honest, the inside of a shoe is probably a hell of a lot stinkier than cheese that Plag absolutely adores. But then again, doesn't he just like stinky things? Do you think Adrian also eats the Camembert, or maybe he's absorbing it through Plag while he's fused with Plag and being Cat Noir? Do you think the Plag that Plag eats just becomes a part of Adrian? That would be interesting. I couldn't find anything about it being a mistranslation, but maybe it is, who knows? I'm just portraying the facts as I see them in the show. But this does give us an example of a Kwame, other than Tiki, acting differently than they should. Or at least what we think they should. I'm not saying Plag doesn't like Camembert, by the way. There's no doubt in my mind he loves it. I just want to make sure that we know that we're both on the same page, that he worships Camembert. I just think it's important to note when something weird happens in the show, so it could maybe lead to something more interesting later down the line in the following seasons. Because again, we're doing season 1 only for this thing, and I'm gonna have to do this all over again for season 2, and then 3, and then 4. Anyway, I don't think Tiki is evil, nor do I think any of what she has done is done with any malicious intent at all. I think she's like a parent trying to get her child to do what she wants her to do because she thinks she knows what's best for them. I do wish I had a few more examples to go off of here, but I don't. Hopefully the show will provide in season 2. Alright, next up we have theory number 4. The ladybug can bring back the dead. So, in episode The Pharaoh, her lucky charm, and by her I mean Ladybug's lucky charm, was able to undo the mummification of about 100 people whose skin was clearly shown to be green, which is a serious case of rot and or gangrene. It spread throughout their bodies, as you can see in the feet and the little bit of their hands that we can see. You could make the argument that they weren't dead, but would soon be, and the ladybug just undid the damage and saved them. But if that was the case, then they wouldn't be mummies or zombies. Zombie mummies? Mummy zombies? Whatever. They wouldn't be that, which is supposed to be mummies, which are dead. That's pretty much all I have for that theory. But yeah, ladybug can bring back the dead, so that's cool. So here's some extra things that I noticed, and maybe a few theories that I can craft from those things that I just didn't have time to put in anywhere else. So, first up, I did notice that when Marinette used her Lucky Charm and Bubbler to stop Chloe from kissing Adrian rather than save everyone, she was left on the verge of de-transforming, which normally her earrings have 5 dots and it slowly decreases by 1 dot every minute when she uses her power, hence the 5-minute time limit. And then once she runs out, she automatically de-transforms. However, in this case, she was left with just 2 dots from the moment she used her power. Now, I can build off of that a little bit with how weird Cat Noir's powers are, and I could maybe come up with, like, maybe their powers are just super unstable because they're still kids and not adults. Although it's stated in the show that they can only use their powers once because they're kids, or rather, because they're kids, they can only use their powers once, which is why they have a time limit at all. So I guess it does kind of support that. However, it also doesn't support that because we don't have any other evidence for them being kids, therefore their time limit is not 5 minutes. No, that doesn't make any sense. What am I talking about? Or maybe it's because that she used her power selfishly. The power of the ladybug itself didn't like that because she wasn't using the power how she was supposed to. It punished her for that. Another thing that I noticed was in episode Horrificator, Chat Noir's bow staff was able to break apart the basketball bucket thing like it was glass. It was as though the bow staff itself had the power of Cataclysm. So it makes me wonder, can Chat Noir run his Cataclysm through the bow staff without it damaging the bow staff? Was that a subconscious thing that he did? Or is the bow staff, having just been materialized from Plag's power, just capable of doing that? And if so, why doesn't he do that more often? Because those things are made out of wood, and if he, just shattered, like, the goo with it, that stuff's really strong, too. Like, I'm pretty sure it wouldn't just shatter. Actually, I have to rewatch that scene to see what happens. Future Alden, edit in a clip of whatever that is, or just show a picture. Hello, Future Alden here. And yeah, no. So basketball backboards are typically made out of tempered glass. This, however, is not tempered glass. You can tell by the fact that it is not see-through. So it's probably some kind of plastic or maybe wood. Metal is probably too expensive. Although what's suspending it here is most likely metal, or maybe like a metal, what do you call them? Cords, metal cords, something like that. But yeah, it is more likely to simply just move or bend due to the pressure being applied by the staff than it is to just shatter into a million pieces. So it is most likely that this is the result of some kind of magic, such as Cataclysm, being funneled through the Cat Noir staff. Anyway, back to you, future or past Alden. Yeah, no, I'm future Alden. What am I talking about? Ugh. Yeah, that. It did that. And here's a pretty interesting display of strength. Back again in episode Horrificator, the Akuma was in a pin. Pins are made of metal or aluminum of some kind, so one would think that even with super strength, you'd only, bend it, yet the pin shatters when Ladybug puts pressure on it between her index and her thumb. How? How did she do that? What else do I have here? What other bullet points do I have? Tiki getting sick. Why did Tiki get sick? She's a Kwami. She's an interdimensional being of untold, unfathomable power. So typically when people get sick, it's because you're exposed to something. So if we think that Tiki getting sick was because she was exposed to something, what was she exposed to that got her sick? Or what could possibly get a creature like Tiki sick? Was it from a mysterious akumatized victim? Or is it because Marinette tends to misuse her powers? Is that the reason she got sick? I don't know. Unless we get more information about how Kwami gets sick, we'll just have to go off of what Thomas Asterisk says. Or the other people who work on the show. Alright, that's literally all of the theories that I've got. I do have more notes that I've written down. We'd be here all day if I just listed off every single bullet point. Let's just clamp down on it now and we can revisit it when we go into the other seasons. We can dig a little deeper. But yeah, there's just too much missing here. So now that we are done with season 1, we can go into season 2. And so that's exactly what I'm going to do after I finish recording this video. If you liked the video, then like the video. If you didn't, don't. Comment down below anything that I missed that you think is important. And don't worry about subscribing, because I haven't done anything yet. Bye-bye!